Welcome back, everyone, to Belonging Songs. It's your weekly podcast that brings you a brand new original song each week, then talks about the theme of that song and the processes that went into writing and recording them. I'm your host, Wade Dana. With me, as always, my good friends Patrick Crane.
Hey, everybody.
Bradley Maurer.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Not much has changed since the last time we talked.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Wink.
It's been a while.
We can edit that out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. Don't want to put a stain on the podcast.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I've got a bad connection. Has someone let their dad in?
Yes.
What are we doing today?
Who knows?
New song by Brad.
I'm just going to do some stand-up.
Brad. I mean, Dad. What's this song called?
It's called Am I the Asshole?
Who wants to take the crack at the joke first?
We'll let our listeners, that's bs@belongingsongs.com.
Or do we have to do .com?
It doesn't necessarily have to be called that either. That's just what I called it. But.
Okay, Susan Baker and Tipper Gore, not impressed, Brad.
No,
I know.
Not at all. I just saw, anybody watch the Nicolas Cage History of Swear Words on Netflix yet?
Yeah.
I watched one episode of that.
I watched 2.
They talk about the explicit lyrics logo, and they actually show that Tipper Gore.
That's the episode I watched.
Yeah.
Yes.
That show is surprisingly good for like a mindless watch.
Yeah.
I was expecting not to be able to get through the first episode, but I think Nicolas Cage is the right host, and they actually like delve into the history pretty well. They have a couple linguists on there.
Yeah.
And then there's some comedians, so it's a really good mix.
Good balance.
Yeah.
Between fact and funny.
And it's quick. It's like a half hour, 20 minutes, something like that.
It's short.
Per episode. Those are good for when you're eating dinner.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Having a nice banquet, frozen dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, new song by Brad. Brad, tell us a little bit about this song.
I have about an hour and a half into it. So it was pretty quick and easy. Lyrics are pretty easy to comprehend, I believe, if you get through them. You know, we can talk about after what it's about. But yeah, it's essentially jotted down, and I kind of just want to hear your thoughts on where it should go or what should change, what should happen. Do you hate it? Do we just delete everything and start over? What are we doing?
Are we voting on that right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, chances are we're starting over, right, boys?
That would be my preference.
Full rewrite?
Yeah.
Yeah, looking for some notes. There's some stuff about it that I guess I ended up liking that you guys probably won't like, but we will listen and discuss those things.
Okay. I say we do that now.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm doing it.
Never wish you harm or misfortune.
never caring either way. We always wore smiles with nothing behind them, and all I ever heard you do was complain. And so now I know for sure that I won't miss you, or any of the things I never cared to know. I still don't wish you harm or misfortune, but wherever you went is not a place I need to go.
All right. We are back from our listen. Patrick, you want to start us off here?
Another song about me. Thanks a lot, Brad. Yeah, first blush, I think you're onto something here. It's definitely in a demo stage. It needs a lot of work still, but there's a good base here. I really like the theme overall, and I like the repeating acoustic guitar. I want the guitar work to build a little bit, and I was actually thinking towards the end of the song, it's probably not a bad thing for that acoustic guitar to repeat, and I like the electric single note tonal stuff over it, but I think the bass might need to drive this song because I really like that boom, boom, boom. It's just a nice kind of general rhythmy roll, but that needs to come out just for the sake of the repetitiveness of the instrumental. I think you could drive it with the bass instead of with the rhythm guitar. Don't lose that lead guitar, though. I really like the tone of that. It almost sounds electronic, but in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
The lyrics, I always knew wherever you went that you would go. Good lyric, and then you turn it to wherever you went, it's not a place I want to go. I love the turn of phrase there, and I think they're both really clever lines. And those two lines in particular really grabbed me into the disdain for this person. Just like, well, see ya.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what this song could be called. Is just, well, bye.
Yeah, it's mainly about like the guilt you feel for like, you know, despite everybody's best efforts, you just really don't want to be around somebody. You know, you're like, there's nothing wrong with you or me. I don't like you. You know,
I was thinking about experiences I've had, and if you want to subscribe to our Patreon account, I'll name drop all these people. All these people I've had relationships with that have just come to a natural terminus, and it's like we're just in different places, or you might not be a horrible person, but there's something there that just is disingenuous about us hanging out, and maybe you're an acquaintance of a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone's had those countless stories. It's part of growth. It's part of I don't know. I think at least in my early middle ages, I guess I made that realization that the people I want to be around need to be the people that are right for me and that actually build on my lives, present
Mm-hmm.
company excluded. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it does. There becomes a real reckoning where you realize that you need to grow and you need people around you that you can support and help grow and that they help grow you into the person you want to be, and it's kind of just a reckoning of that. So
Yeah.
I like I said, the first thing that came across me, which is weird for listening to any of our songs for the first time, is just like instantly the theme was like, yeah, it's there, you built it into the song, it's obvious, it works. I think this song is really just about musically building it out because you captured the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I read these lyrics last or this morning because I noticed you had posted them and immediately got the gist of what we're talking about here. And it comes through, it's very apparent. Um,
Mhm.
I, what was that? Who just did the, uh,
Ugh.
this right off the bat for me had a country vibe to
Oh
it,
yeah.
and I would like to see you lean into that more on this
Mhm.
song. I want slide guitar on this and
Mm-hmm.
like country it
You
up.
know what I heard, which it might not work. I would like to hear a little bit of flute in the background.
Oh, Fife, a
Like
little
like
Fife, huh?
seriously. Like seriously, I think like some understated flute. We can get Mott the Hoople or somebody, but I think it would work.
I, I don't know if I'm buying into that, but I'm willing to try it.
I definitely didn't hear flute, but now I want to hear what
Right, yeah, that's
what you
right.
can do with some flute.
We've never had flute on any of our
What-
music.
This has been the Flute Challenge, a new segment where we inject some flute into the song. You know, before I started listening to what I'm listening to a lot of now, I was actually listening
Brad, what are you
to
listening to?
I'm listening to Deep Sea Diver a lot. But I was listening to actually like I would listen to Chris Stapleton a lot.
Mott
So I
the
was like, oh,
Hoople.
I like Chris Stapleton's voice. I don't love all of his songs, but I like his
Who's pen
voice.
clicking?
Not me.
Not me either.
Yeah.
Did I move my mic? I might have moved my mic.
He's just starting to hear it in his head.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, Wade's the asshole. No, but so I was listening to I was just searching for music and I was listening to country and it always shines through. And I came up and you can tell with this song, it's like a 3 or 4 quarter. I just kind of came up and was playing and I was like, oh, I'll just jot this down, and it kind of turned into a thing. And Am I the Asshole is actually a subreddit.
Mhm.
So it's a bunch of people asking if
Yeah.
they're the asshole.
Did
and
you
just
stumble
was just
across that one when you were looking for your GME stonks?
No, yeah, one of my stonks. Yeah. So I mean, that was just in my head, and I'm like, oh well. And the line actually was in the song first, but I was like, kind of makes sense why it was in my brain, I guess.
Yeah,
But,
it's kind of funny too. We've talked about it early on in this podcast, but we don't usually swear in our lyrics because we're just not that hardcore. So
Yeah.
when it happens, it does catch you off guard.
mhm.
Here's what I would like to see this song do more of is go back to that line. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for that. And I kept expecting it and wanting it to happen, especially when you kind of turn that last part of the song as kind of the chorus, but you've got that line, whenever you went or wherever you went is not a place I need to go.
Hmm.
After that, it's a perfect place to tag on. Now I'm asking myself, am I the asshole?
Yeah.
Like it
Okay.
flows, and I kept wanting you to go back to that tagline.
Yeah, if it works for you and the message you want to convey, it'd be neat to see the narrator at the end like have a reconciliation that he's not the asshole. It's just
Yeah.
the
Or there
space.
is no
Yeah.
asshole, right? Like nobody's
Yeah, it
the
just
asshole.
happens.
Yeah.
Mhm. So that was my main note, is wanting to hear that referenced again.
Yeah, I think I am gonna lean into like the countryness of it a
Mhm.
little bit, and I have some ideas with that for there's on this, like I said, I didn't really spend a lot of time with it. I think there's only 4 or 6 overall vocal tracks.
Hmm.
And so I was thinking about leaning into it with like kind of country-ish backing vocals
Dude,
as well.
slide guitars and a fiddle solo, and this
No,
thing's where it
no,
needs
I
to
think-
be.
I think you're right.
Tuba
Maybe a
and slide
maybe a-
flute.
definitely a stomp or something. But yeah, I think there's some. I basically wanted to get a bones check. So there's bones, right?
Oh yeah, the bones are
okay.
the bones are thick.
Right.
And don't be afraid to vary that bass a little bit too, because like I said, that's the first thing I heard is that this is, and it'll work with the country vibe for sure, but I think this is a bass driven rhythm.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's the house,
Yeah.
right? And everything else is
Yeah.
working kind of around it. The outro / kind of solo thing, that was all like a one taker.
I liked
Which
it.
you can probably
Actually, I really did. It's gritty.
That was my thing with it, is that, like I had it in there and then I started listening to it and I was like, I kind of like that it's messy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit unexpected for the way the rest of the song kind of, I want to leave it a little bit discombobulated, I think, but I'll play around with that, maybe put some stuff into it with it and see where that goes.
I think Patrick's right. Like, it does need a conclusion too.
Yeah.
Like, because you're asking yourself, am I the asshole?
Mhm.
And I'm saying I would like to see that asked more. But then at the end of the song, I think there needs to be like a period on
Yeah.
it, like Patrick said, where you kind of
Or-
reckon with that thought.
Or
like,
maybe
no, I'm
you
not.
do find out you are.
Right.
Or yeah, you
Right.
could.
Right.
Either way. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, there could
I
be a
like it.
line
I like
about
them.
maybe I'm the one leaving your spit Mountain Dew bottle in your pickup truck every time I get a ride from you. Yeah, I'm
Right.
probably the asshole.
It's funny that you've written a country leaning song, because I've got one. I have an idea that I've had for a long time, country song, and it's on my short list now
Yeah.
of songs to start.
I have this one and one called Big Rig Built This House.
Ooh, I've heard that.
Which eventually went
That's a
to
good one.
finish up. Yeah.
Yeah. Stay tuned for that.
Denim and silver studs.
That's Patrick's country song. So we're working on the album, or at least an EP.
Mhm.
We'll have to come up with a new group name.
Yeah.
Now, Brad, does that give you a good idea of where to take this? Like, any ideas?
It does, yeah. Intro wise, that guitar, I struggled with the sound of it. Is that headed in the right direction? Do we want more in the intro?
Yeah, I think so. But if you take Wade's advice, which I think is good advice, and I'm never going to turn down a slide guitar, you can lean in with something going down the neck
Yeah.
on the slide
Yeah.
guitar.
Yeah, there's one in there, but it's in the background
Yeah.
and it doesn't play the entire part. So
Yeah.
I'll probably accentuate that a little bit.
I always like that Chris Isaac move of down the neck and then up into the high octave of whatever the
Mhm.
first note of the rhythm is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you mean like no? Yeah. Right. Right on. No, I got some marching orders on that.
Cool. So we'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
Kaboom.
Set course.
To the future!
All right, what are we doing?
Your song.
Let's go.
What is it? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's get yoked.
Let's go, man.
All right, Brad, you want to take over?
No, I just want to get the ball rolling, and then I'll sit here silently as usual.
We're doing Where We Hide?
Hey,
Is that what we're doing?
Guess what? The ball's rolling.
oh,
It's been
shit.
rolling.
Oh,
We're in the episode right
Oh,
now.
man.
Damn.
We are back from the future.
It feels like we never left.
Back from the future too. Back from it's the
Captain Beefaroo.
Should we start a
Really-
whole series and call it Back from the Future?
Back from the future.
Yeah, Marty McFly never really had that, like, walking through the front door after a long trip and just dropping your carry off and being like,
No, he was full. He was full of energy.
yeah.
No
The
jet
youth,
lag.
the power of youth.
We are back. Maybe I'm the asshole.
Hmm.
Good chance I
We all
am.
know the truth.
Yeah, BSers, weigh in. Shoot us an email. Who's the asshole? BS at
Yeah, out of the three of
belongingsongs.com.
us.
The asshole.
I would like to hear who you think is the biggest asshole on this show. Please send us a message.
PS at belongingsongs.com.
Brad, you have worked on this song. When we left it, my notes here say country vibe, lean in more,
Mhm.
slide,
Mhm.
come back to the a-hole line once or twice more. Those are
I
my
think you're forgetting the
notes.
most important note. Flute.
Yeah, Fife.
This is the flute.
Yeah, this
we
is
need
the
more
flute
Well,
song.
no, this is Flute Notes with Patrick Crane, where he talks
I
about
hope there's
whether or
at
not
least-
the song needed flute or not, and the answer is usually just yes.
So you Jethro told
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So I have a whole flutro intro.
Turn
on it.
the turn the tolometer up to 8.
Right.
8.2. Dial it in.
Nice. So Brad was out in his backyard in the trees, fluting
Yeah, just
around in
fluting.
the moonlight. to this
With his
song.
goat hooves
What
on.
I would do is, I would like poke my head around the corner and then just
Oh my god.
throw some flute riffs down.
Brad, come inside. Get those goat hooves off. Dinner.
Now there has to be some artwork now of Brad in the moonlight, like fluting in between some trees. BSers, if you were an artist.
Yeah, and quite frankly, if you're a costume designer and want to make some goat hooves for Brad, we've got
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
If you're an aspiring filmmaker, I would love to see that put into action.
I have the
Anyway.
soundtrack covered, I think.
Yeah. Brad, what did you do? Patrick, what were your notes for Brad on this song?
Other than the flute, I believe I agreed with you about leaning into the country theme.
Okay.
But mostly just flute.
Okay.
What else did I say? I've got my notes right here.
I failed to get any flute on it. I did lean into the country theme a little bit.
You could have stopped with I failed.
I may have failed entirely. I added 2 and then elevated the level of the slide guitars. There was one slide guitar in it before, and then it was mostly picked melody. So I flipped those around, and I added a lot of vocals to it.
Yeah, I had a lot of vocal notes. I thought your vocals sounded just too demo-like and need to be thickened up.
They
a
were, I
little bit.
thickened them up. I also then took everything down and kind of re-rough mixed it, and I took some parts out to try to build it in a little bit to get a little bit more build. And then I added another guitar over top of that one you liked, Patrick. It needed some more, but you said don't lose it. So now it's more of a background to it.
Okay.
So I think I got it a lot closer to where it needs to be. If there's a couple things that you guys want to see, let me know. And then other than that, it could be ready for Wade just to do his thing to it.
Cool.
Did you do any arranging as far as like lyrics go or the story? No, those were some notes we had.
No, yeah, you did have those notes.
No, yeah, is the Midwestern no, BSers. So,
No, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no, is actually the appropriate context. So
Okay.
I'm still open to the idea. I just couldn't find a place to piece it in. And then when I went back and sort of redid the guitars a little bit, I just kind of left it alone after that. So give it a listen and let me know, I guess.
Okay, let's do that. Unless you guys want to talk about Brad jumping around in the woods more.
Yeah. Just imagine it during this song, because that's a total asshole move.
Oh, I'm going to. I'm going to. Okay.
to know. I never wish you harm or misfortune. No matter where you went, I always knew that you would go. Now I'm asking myself, am I the asshole for never caring either way? We always wore smiles with nothing behind them, and all I ever heard you do was complain. And so now I know for sure that I won't miss you or any of the things I never cared to know. I still don't wish you harm or misfortune, but wherever you went, it's not a place I need to go. And so now I know for sure that I won't miss you or any of the things I never cared to know. I still don't wish you harm or misfortune, but wherever you went, it's not a place I need to go.
I think this song works a lot better now that you've kind of leaned more into that country element. Like right off the bat, I loved that slide guitar coming in stronger. I think the background vocals sound really great on this and help elevate every part that they're on. It sounds really great, and it just works so much better overall for me.
So what I did is I took out the electric guitar through like the first chorus. I tried to lean in also to the acoustic elements of the song a little bit better.
That acoustic to be the underlying theme of the arrangement, I think works a lot better. Because it's that nice driving
Yes.
walk, boom, ba-dum, boom. It's got a really nice cadence
I
to it.
did find myself wanting the choruses to be a little more elevated, but I think that's something I could take care of in the mix. Like I hear that distorted guitar under there, and I think maybe just kind of raising everything.
So
up a
here's
little
what I
more there.
thought about that when I was listening to the chorus, because I agree, Wade. I thought it might be interesting to bring the high vocals up a lot. So when you switch into that chorus, it's like a new voice in the song where the high notes are almost dominant versus Brad's mid-range. I could be losing my mind because I want flute. But I think it would work really well to hear a little bit more of escalation of the chorus and then the high notes. And then
I think the chorus is mixed stuff. I think we can.
What
get
I
it to
did
where it needs to be there.
on those, to be honest with you, is everything's the same. I just slowly brought levels up on things as the song got closer to the end. So it is probably a mixed thing where...
Yeah, and I still don't think you're comfortable with some of your range, but I think it works really well in this song. I think you're dialed in. Your vocals are actually starting to sound clearer. I don't know if it's the end of allergy season or what, but
I love the background vocals
yeah.
on this. Now, were those all there before you added some of those?
Yeah, there was 2 there. Now there's 6 or 8.
They sound really great and help the song a lot.
The last time you sang, and so now I know for sure that I won't miss you. I think it's at around 317. I'd almost like a little bit of a different inflection on those compared to the rest of the song. Because while they're brought up in the mix, they're louder. I would like to hear that first line that sang just a little bit more differently with a little more, like I said, just inflection or passion or whatever. You might be able to do some of it in the mix, but I'd like to almost hear the timbre change a bit just to really drive the exclamation mark home there.
There's actually another line, or I guess track in there that I did that too.
Mm-hmm. Didn't work?
No, it's in there.
Oh, okay.
I was going to drag it up and make that the lead vocal through the end of it.
Is it muted right now,
No,
Brian?
it's in there. It's just down. It's like, it's like around,
Mhm.
minus 10 or something.
Well,
it's just
well,
back
fuck
there.
Me, you did it all. You
Well,
did it all,
no,
Brad.
but it was sort of I wanted to do it, but I couldn't pull it off with the lead necessarily. So I was trying to do it more with a background vocal that sings with the main vocal. It's not just an accent. And so Wade, probably you could play around with a little bit, or maybe I'll do another 1 or 2 before I send it to you in the main vocal.
Yeah, I think it's pretty ready to mix.
Oh, I think so too.
If you want to play around with it before you send it, that's cool. The only note I want to get your
Is it about the
opinion
tuba?
on it.
Need to bring the tuba up?
Well, do we really need to even say that?
Well, we'll do it on bus riding.
A tuba is just a huge flute, so I mean,
Yeah,
that goes without
it's a
saying
huge bass
that
flute.
We want to bring that up.
The brass flute.
The only arrangement note I have would be about the end. I think you could put a period on it around the 340 mark on your last line. What's the last line, Brad? I don't have the lyrics
But
up.
wherever-
Need to go is the last.
Yeah, wherever you went is not a place I need to go.
Need to go. I think you could. That could be the end of the song right there if you wanted.
I think you're right,
You could
actually.
put a period on it there. It's just instrumental after that.
Yeah.
I think it lends thematically to the song to like, I don't need to go there. I'm done. End the song.
That's a really good point. I'm listening to it right now, and I think that's a good...
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that.
It would be really easy to do because the slide guitar comes in and like rings, and so that could ring in into like a fade and just go away, which I think that would...
I think that would work.
The outro's always bugged me with this song because it was really haphazardly thrown together, and it really isn't an outro. It's just a little more chugging that
That's
doesn't...
kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
And it's over 4 minutes.
Yeah.
340 is a great song length. If we cut it there, I think it would work. So if you don't mind me trying that, I think it'd be worth hearing.
Yeah, I never really liked the length of it either because it's a very repetitive song.
You know what? I think this song pairs really well with We've Made a Mistake. Like if you were starting to compile an EP.
Yeah, I think it does.
I think you've got a good start there of a couple songs.
I would agree with that.
And I really like that you kind of just went a different direction with this. Like this isn't in your wheelhouse necessarily, like country kind of genre. And I like that you went somewhere new, and I think it turned out really good. And I'm excited to mix it.
Put it on my Bradway Twitty album.
My country album is going to be called Little to No Gains.
Oh, man.
Right.
There's got to be somebody with a Twitter handle, Conway Tweety, right?
Right.
Oh, there's got to be.
There's got to be.
Yeah, I think there definitely is, right?
Oh, man. I have a garage sale find in my game room that's like a little wooden plaque with just a picture of Conway Twitty and like white tennis shorts and like polo and has a signature on it. It's a prized possession. We can put it up on Instagram.
I want to get a picture of him, and just underneath it I want it to say country's Herb Albert. Where like everybody had that album, and they're like, how did this get in the collection? Somehow.
It's like your dad, all of our dads probably have a Santana album. Like
The
they
whipped
have
cream one, right? Which was the Herb Albert one.
I have every one of them somehow.
Yeah, just like your grandparents have somebody doing "Oh Danny Boy"
Right.
in the console.
All right, so we're ready to mix then.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So
I like that
if you
idea.
want to tweak it up, do so. If not, yeah, send it over. Let's get this thing mixed,
like
and
it.
then we'll re-listen to it.
I like it.
Cool. So we're going to jump in the time machine. BSers, we'll see you shortly. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks for the help on that. How far do you think we're going to get into the future with only me diddly doing?
That's another. What an awesome shirt that would be. Am I the only one diddly doing?
Set course.
To the future!
Brad, you're a decent dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, of the three of us here.
You guys don't you don't live with me.
All right, let's do this. Brad, you should give us the BSL intro with your voice.
BSL with your host Whyte Dana. Musical guest, me.
That's right, BSers, we're back. Musical guest Brad. We're going to talk about him being an asshole a little more. So we're trying to get this podcast in before we lose some of the time we paid for.
We're
Yeah,
cheap.
so
We're
for
cheap.
upload.
we'll let you in. It's all about quantity over quality at this point.
That's
It's a
right.
fucking factory.
No matter what we say, this song's done.
This is the off-brand podcast, right? Like we're saving money.
Kirkland. This is a
Right.
Kirkland
Say,
podcast.
Welcome to the Kirkland cast.
This is a rare Thursday night edition.
Kirkland Hammett. Kirkland
Yeah,
Cobain.
Kirkland Cobain.
I'm going to go get some meatballs. Oh, wait, that's
different album.
the other place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or wait, no.
Yeah.
Kirkland, that's the right place, right?
Oh.
I
No,
mean,
you're thinking of
no.
IKEA. That's the Swedish Costco.
Oh, yeah, same thing.
Oh, yeah, Sweet Co.
No, not Kinko's. The copy connection.
All right, so
Rock
what are we
over
doing?
London.
Rock over Chicago.
Oh, America. Arby's, we have the meat.
So you can tell a clear difference between an evening cast and the morning cast
Yeah.
we've been doing, where everybody's just
So-
still getting their coffee
Yeah.
in.
I noticed in the morning cast, like my voice is really deep. Like,
Yeah. So I mixed Brad's song, sent these guys a message the other night asking if they could podcast on it soon so we can get it out. Obviously, we're here, so
Yeah.
they've agreed. I did not hear from Brad, which I'm thinking means that the song did not need major revisions, or else we wouldn't need to be here.
I had I had an opportunity to listen to it, which is what I
Okay.
prefer, right? Prior
Yep.
to the show. And yeah. No negative comments, and I will save all positive comments for after we listen.
Cool. So Patrick has not heard this.
I haven't.
And whoa.
What?
Oh, I just made my screen. It just went straight to Brad's face, real huge. But I'm back to normal, so that was scary.
That's not a
That was
bug.
very,
That's a
very-
feature.
That was very, very
Terrifying.
scary.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna listen to the mix of "Am I the Asshole" right now.
All right, I'm doing it.
We thought we were friends.
friendly in different ways through the years. We'd see each other around our mutual people until one day you disappeared, and it made me realize I didn't miss you. And there were so many things I never cared to know. I never wish you harm or misfortune. No matter where you went, I always knew that you would go. Now I'm asking myself, am I the asshole for never caring either way? We always wore smiles with nothing behind them, and all I ever heard you do was complain. And so now I know for sure that I won't miss you, or any of the things I never cared to know. I still don't wish you harm or misfortune, but wherever you went, there's not a place I need to go.
Love that end. Love it.
Brad, I know what it sounds like in mono now, because for some reason that's how this new microphone I had to buy is outputting sound to me right now, because Squadcast has decided to disregard the fact that I have like $4,000 worth of audio interfaces here. It doesn't want me to be able to use those.
And you've been extremely pixelated like the last 4 times.
So,
Yeah, are you Mario? Is that Mario or Luigi?
Right.
So hope it sounded better for you guys.
It sounded good. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you had to listen to it that way because
I think mono's good. We'll release a gatefold LP in mono.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've listened to it 100 times in stereo, so now it sounds good in mono if anybody's going to listen to it out of one
That's
speaker.
good.
Patrick, you haven't heard this, so what are your thoughts on that there?
In a word, it's perfect. Back when we recorded the first part of this episode, I was talking about how I wanted the bass to kind of drive those chorus transitions. And the way the bass notes hit, boom, ba-doom, boom, and then there's that little bit of distorted guitar, really brings that forward, and I think kicks the chorus into the next phase of the song. So that's great. The solo, great transition. The slide guitar sounds great. And the thing that I found surprising with how much I thought it just sort of encapsulated the rest of the song was the end. I think the end makes a lot more sense now in that mix.
Yeah, because Brad did the end edit there and got rid of that whole outro,
Yeah.
which was like another, I don't know, what, like 30 seconds, Brad, going on
Yeah,
of
for
just
sure.
instrumental?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely over 4 minutes.
Your vocals are cleaned up. I mean, this is, I don't care what Brad thinks. It's done.
Let's do the bingo card to see if Brad can pick out all the changes that I did with his song. Brad, go.
I can pick out the one part. I'll go with the obvious, and then I'll work backwards. Slide guitar in the choruses, phenomenal job.
Ding.
There was a lot of moving
I already
and
said
cutting,
that's cheating. You don't get credit for that.
moving and cutting and pasting, and it was.
Yeah,
you
but
did,
they
you-
weren't
you-
there, Patrick.
Yes.
I cut and pasted those into the choruses.
And you did a really good job of making it sound like its own part. You know, like
Well, I did edit it a little, so it's not the
Same part.
full performance that you used
Yeah.
No,
earlier
that's
in the
credit.
song.
That's
Yeah.
point.
I know that because I wouldn't have played it that way necessarily, but I really liked how it snuck into parts of the chorus where I wouldn't have played a note. And so I enjoyed that a lot. I think your interpretation of that slide guitar in that part is what the song wanted more than what I would have played through it, if that makes sense.
I think that's what really makes the transition going into the solo work
Absolutely.
much better.
Yeah,
It
yes.
really flows into that, and then those slide guitars are going along with
Yes.
that solo.
I was gonna say that solo feels like a crescendo of the rest of the rhythm.
Yeah.
It's a really nice.
And you
Transition.
You flipped it.
It did not reverse it.
No, but you took down
it.
you took down
Yeah.
the lead guitar part that I played originally on the original demo, and then I played slide guitar over it, and I had those up.
Yeah.
You flipped that, which is way better. And there was
That's
actually
point.
another like high guitar that I played along with that you brought up a lot that made it kind of harmonize in an octave. It was an octave, but it like sounded more like a harmony going through that solo. Love that. You always do vocal stuff, which accentuates how not good of a singer I am, but you repair a lot of it, I think.
Insensualate.
Because when I do my vocals, especially with background vocals where there was a lot, it usually is there to fix what I know is probably not strong, and you do a good job of kind of repairing it and making it sound professional.
Might have been some of this going on when I was doing the vocal work. What the hell? Why would he do that? What is this? It doesn't even match the rest of them.
Ah, yes.
I like how you pulled the flute down so you could barely hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
just kind of blended the flute right
it's
in.
It's all flute. No,
Yeah.
I've said it before with my songs. The vocal performances I could probably get better, but I run out of steam with them, and so I don't. I just get them as good as I can get them while I'm recording, and that's
Have you considered trying multiple nights instead of trying to barrel through the whole
absolutely.
thing?
I've tried
I wouldn't
mornings.
push it.
I've tried
Don't
mornings.
push
I've
it.
tried nights. I've tried middays.
Do you record your vocals as like a single pass, like you'll sing the whole song?
No, not
through?
always. No,
Okay, just wondering.
no.
'Cause
Sometimes
I do line to line.
Yeah, sometimes I do. Well, I do part to part, so I'll usually do one part, and then I'll
Yeah,
sing
me too.
another vocal with that part, and I'll move it down, and then I'll move to the next part after a scratch. I'll do a scratch all the way through. I know you probably think the ones I give you are a scratch, but they're not. Because a lot of times, I mean, I could give you 4 tracks per vocal, and there's other ones in there, like playlist, but they always sound the same to me or worse. So I don't know.
What was my text? I sent you the mix, and I said, "Brad, there's a mix. Mix is coming at you. The vocals are not too loud. Shut up."
Yeah. No, they
Because
were.
usually your comment is they're too loud.
I don't like them that loud, but they sound good in this song, to be honest. And the backing vocals, you know, if I was mixing it, I would have had them louder for that reason. And I think it's awesome that you have discretion with that, because I would do it for selfish reasons and you do it for song reasons, which is a better way to mix, right?
Wait, did you bring up the high end in his vocals?
Not really. No. I mean, I've mentioned this before on the show where I'll typically boost around 5 kilohertz on Brad's vocals. I think I actually brought it down to 4K on this song.
Brad Maurer in 4K.
4K.
It's like a 2 dB boost, and that's on the main vocals. I don't think I EQ'd the background vocals at all.
Yeah, 'cause it sounded more like what I was listening for, but that might be a function of the musical mix. It sounded closer to what I wanted to hear.
Did you end up having to fix the organ part some?
So I didn't.
You didn't?
You said you were going to send me.
That's not a
A new
point. That's not a point. We can't give you credit.
Is that a deduction?
No, we don't deduct here.
I think it might have been something happened after I sent it, because like through the whole solo part, there was just like this constant bad note that was in the MIDI, and I was like, I gotta pull that out.
Those,
at least. I was doing those
like,
little swell fancy keyboard
back and forth on the keys.
Yeah.
A lot of that, like as I was working, Conway Twitty's making an appearance, folks. Check out
Hello,
Instagram,
darling.
It always just pops up from the bottom of the screen.
When I started to work on that organ, because usually I will the synths and stuff will be one of the last things I bring into the song, especially with the song like this. Like I get the drum and bass and your main guitar working, and then I bring in your main vocals because that's the heart of the song. Then I start to bring in the extra elements like your distorted guitar, lead guitar, slide, and background vocals in the synth tracks are usually the last things I'll bring in to like fill out an arrangement. So I had everything working kind of the way I wanted. And when I did solo that organ, I was like, what? That was another thing. Like, what is this? Like, because you had a lot of those.
Yeah.
You go Dr. Teeth on it?
Oh, no, I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And it soloed. I was like, this isn't going to work. But a lot of that was during the solo part of the song. And it really just gets masked. So it was fine. And I actually really like the one that you do that starts the song
in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was trying to do was, and I'm not a fancy keyboard player by any means, so I was trying to match that with the the going up and down, like you know how they do, Patrick. They just drag their hand on the keyboard, and I was going up and back.
I've seen it 1,000
You know how they
times.
do, and sometimes they'll do a little spin.
Yeah. Sometimes they have two layers of keyboards, and then they have one behind them,
or there's one 90 degrees. They're not even looking at it. It's off to the it's off camera.
Sometimes they've got a Bud Light in a Pepsi branded plastic cup.
Right.
So the video is Brad, moonlight on a hill, surrounded by pine trees, maybe dusk, frolicking around with a flute. But then you cut over, and there's Brad with like a whole 180 keyboard setup.
Yeah. I'm like Beethoven in Bill and Ted's. Just.
Brad at 3 points in his live performance goes to a grand piano and sings a song for the ladies.
Yeah.
That's
what I do is I start playing the piano and then I sing the first verse and then I get up.
Oh, and you get the electric guitar?
And then I go to the mic.
You pull a Neil Young, you're like, when I grow up, I want an electric guitar.
And everybody in the audience doesn't even bother to go, who's playing the piano now? Because I hear it still.
It's Dr. T.
Right. So,
okay.
I definitely did that.
So, back to this song.
And I liked those, so I did a couple more, and then I was like, well, worst thing could happen, we take them out, right? And I think they did blend pretty good.
Throughout most of the song, you have an electric piano accompanying that organ.
Percussive, yeah.
And during your second chorus, I believe it is, you just have the organ.
Yeah, that was
so
accurate.
You didn't accompany it with the piano. So the only thing I did edit-wise was to
put one in there,
change the panning on that organ. Because for most of the song, I have the organ panned all the way to the right and the electric piano panned all the way to the left.
You brought it to the middle for that second, or closer to the middle.
So for that part where it's on its own, I panned it wide left and right. So I took the left pan and brought it all the way over to give it a stereo feel. But then I also brought in those slide guitars because I thought it needed to elevate there.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you about that, like your arranging decisions on things like that. Why did you not have the electric piano in for that part? And then why did you cut the electric piano for the end of the song when that should be the biggest part?
This sounds like you're getting scolded, Brad. Those are rhetorical questions. And as your attorney, you do not have to answer those, but I'm also curious to hear.
I copy and pasted it into the end because it made no sense to me to lose it there.
Would you guys care for an honest answer? Or do you want me to try to make something up that's real arty?
I do want to hear an honest answer. I get the feeling Wade doesn't care. He's just he just wants to see you squirm.
I would like to hear both, and then I'll pick the one that I want to put
could come up with
episode.
A pretty good arty reason why. The main reason is I did them through a bunch, and then I went back and I pulled some out trying to redirect, and then I probably just fucked it up and didn't like have them in there. When I had it down at a certain level where I didn't think it mattered, and so I left it and gave it to you. So
Yeah.
and I was thinking like, okay, well, worst case that could happen, it's like 2 measures or 4 or whatever. He'll just take that and move it over and be fine.
Yeah, well, we'll
Well,
go
that's
with
what
the
I
same
did.
answer.
Yeah.
Whyte'll fix it. We
Well,
don't pay that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Wade'll fix it. I'll put it in there. It's there for you to grab and do whatever
It's
you
free
want with.
overtime.
So, I mean, that's why. I probably just forgot to drag it over, or I did, and I took it out trying to listen to it and whatever.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it definitely
was
should
a
have been in the
reason.
end where you have it. And
Mhm.
again, like, second honest answer, I didn't like spend a lot of time on this song, to be honest with you.
Brad, this is where you say I'm
a
sorry,
piece
and
of
we
shit.
move on.
I'm a piece of shit. Okay, I'm McMurray. Let me change my name on here to McMurray because I'm a piece of shit.
Didn't get the mark.
Okay, so I edited out one snare hit that you had going in to your first verse. Like you had a little fill there, and it ended on a snare hit, and that was throwing things off. So that's one thing I took out, just that one drum snare hit. And then I also went into your addictive drums and recorded down the room track.
Mm.
I noticed you don't record down your room in bus tracks in addictive drums.
It's a good point.
Patrick, should he answer this?
What I do is I
But you always like record another drum track.
record
which I
an
think is
audio track, and then sometimes
weird.
that's where I pull it in. Is I'll mix that.
Can you explain yourself?
Can you not hear me?
I just wondering. why
Brad,
you
I
don't
think
do
what that
the
was,
room
if I can
track.
translate, is did you even go to Berkeley?
No, I graduated from FHS. Almost.
So anyway, I brought in the room track because that gives you that like ambience kind of for the drum, and gives them a little,
Mm-hmm.
makes them a little more lively. So that's one thing I did, and then I take the one audio track that you do record the stereo version of your drums.
Mhm.
So Brad will like separate them all. So I get a kick track, a snare track, a hi-hat, and so on and so forth. But then he also records down a stereo version of just all the drums.
It's like a print kind of, and it has the effects in it, because a lot of times that'll have like a really cool sound to it because of the either effects that are on it through the kit or the reverb or whatever. So I don't always want to lose that, and I can't always emulate it, so I bounce it down. I just drag it down, and it makes itself, and then I bring it up in the mix a little bit so you can hear it.
So what I did with it was like really compress it. Like I smashed it. Like a 10-to-1 ratio. And then really
Golden
smashed
gray.
it. And then brought it in just a little bit, and it just adds some heft to the
some
overall
weight to
drum
the
track.
drum. Yeah, I like the way they sound.
I also recorded the room and brought that into and mixed it into
See,
the drum.
that I've never tried, and I think it's because like my mind says do it on the post effects, right? Do it on the tracks. So I'm gonna try that actually, the room. So I learned
what
something
the room
today.
is, the room track is actually like a stereo microphone set up in the room where the drums are recorded.
Right.
So they just get all the feel of
bouncing.
the area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I brought that in. Yeah, I edited and tuned your vocals a bit. Unmuted your distorted guitar for the first
I noticed
verse.
that. I liked the level you put it at.
I liked what you were going for to like make the song a little more dynamic, but I thought it really dropped out too much.
From the first part that's all there, and then I agree with that.
Yeah.
That was a good decision.
And now that you mentioned that first part where everything's all there, you know me, like my instinct is to like scale that back and then build, but I know you like
constantly
to
do that, don't I?
Yeah. Well, I think we're at a point to where I know now how you want these songs, so I'm not gonna like cut those things out because that's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
So I made sure to leave that stuff in because I know you like to introduce elements at the beginning and then bring them in later.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that you were playing around with arranging and muting that one guitar, but I thought the whole thing just kind of was too much.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing supporting the track there.
Yeah,
so
it would have
I
been
brought it
better
in.
if it was a slow builder, but this song
Yeah.
wasn't really a slow builder. Like I wanted it to come in kind of with everything, and I think that
And I like that.
your version works pretty good with this song. Really good, actually. I don't want those back gone. And plus, I think
Mhm.
I don't know if you did anything to them. You didn't fade them down or anything.
I did. I unmuted them, but I kept them
You
down.
kept them down, but I let them ring
Mhm.
out a lot. I thought more, but maybe I didn't play them as aggressive as I thought I did because I thought I let some like go. So maybe not.
Nope, I didn't do anything else. I added a tiny bit of slap delay on them.
Yeah. No,
And
those
reverb, but
sounded
that was it.
they sounded really good. I like those in there because it gives a little more weight through that first verse.
Yeah. Yep. And that was you had a Korg track in there that I got rid of.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary.
Because I liked how I panned the organ one way and the piano one way, and then that one was kind of like I didn't know what to do with it, so just got rid of that one.
When I was playing around with the sounds, sorry, I meant to give that to you with it muted or gone. Before I did the slide guitar melody, I was playing around with it to try to soften it up. And so I used that organ or that keyboard to try to soften those. Because remember the first demo version, those notes were really harsh. And that was always kind of bugging me. So I was trying to soften it up and I left it in. I just left it in there. So thank you again.
I love how this song turned out. Like, it's a little different.
Yeah.
It's got a country flavor, and I think we really got it there.
New country flavored Doritos.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I like where it ended up. I feel like I'm all over the map with the way I'm writing songs anymore, but I guess I don't care.
The funniest part about that is there was a group of songs where I said in an episode, I think, like you're like really hitting a groove, you're hitting a stride.
Fucking took off.
Stride. With this group of songs, like getting this sound, and then immediately lost it.
Right.
And that was like anchor and wheel, butterflies, wink.
It was gone. And that's how it goes. It goes in like batches of 6 for me. And then I'm like, oh, I guess I'll play like some Don Henley covers or something for a little while. And they're gone. Like, fuck.
You're not the Don Henley.
You know what's I gotta get my fucking Jazz
Joe
Master
Waltz.
fixed. That's what's setting me back at the moment.
Joe
What's
Waltz.
wrong with it?
Inputs. So like I gotta hold it. I gotta hold the cable. And that's what I had to do on this song. It was like I had to like hold it with my arm and then I was running the
You know what you should do?
what?
You should buy another guitar.
I know. It's probably what needs to happen. Because if I give this one goes to get fixed, I won't have it.
Exactly.
You know, so I need
backup.
I need to have one. I mean, while this one's gone, I need to have one. I can't not
I know.
have one. What the fuck am I doing over here? Yeah. All right. Got that figured
Yeah.
out.
So I'm happy with the song. Sounds like you guys are happy with this.
I think it's great. And I think what's awesome about this song is it was a good group effort again. Like it's really cool how like I love this about this show, how I can write a song and it would have stayed that way forever, or we could collaborate and there's completely different things to it that I wouldn't have done. Like I said, I wouldn't have played those slide guitar parts that way through the choruses, but I love the way they are because they're a little bit off to me. And I'm like, oh, it's almost like playing in a band again. You're like, oh, I wouldn't have played that, but it's fucking awesome.
It's almost like you should finish some of the other songs that we've started episodes
I don't know why
on.
you continually bring those up like you want them done.
This has been passive aggressive moments.
Yeah, exactly. Starring Whyte.
Shit, have you been practicing too? I need to practice.
Whyte Dana.
It's like the Debbie Downer sketch, but it's just me just being passively aggressive.
Is the
towards
Debbie
Brad.
Downer sketch only funny because everyone breaks
'Cause
character?
nobody can keep it
Yeah,
together.
I think so. I think so. But it made the original sketch funnier, right?
Oh yeah,
Right? We all agree with that. Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I laugh at it, and then everybody laughs, and it gets even more funny.
Yep.
I've been working
right.
on Johnny from Jeopardy too every once in a while, but that one's not quite there yet.
Let us know when you're ready.
Yeah, I got to hear it more. We'll get there.
Yeah.
I can't watch that's one of our things is I'll watch Saturday Night Live in the morning because we tape it. You know, I watch it Sunday morning, so I'll be down there, be like,
You just blew my mind.
I'm in the morning.
Saturday Night Live in the morning.
Yeah, that's right.
Sunday morning?
Yeah, and then I
This
tape
world coming too.
and then I tape Sunday morning on CBS, and I watch.
And you
it in
watch
the
that on
afternoon.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
Okay. The following Saturday
Watch it
night.
in the
Okay.
afternoon. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, this is episode 10. We're a quarter of the way through season 2.
Holy shit. Pretty good.
I've been thinking to myself lately, like, wow, I don't know how we're going to get all these songs again for a whole nother season.
But then we're 25% done.
Yeah.
You keep cracking the whip. We keep pumping out episodes.
Yeah, they'll come. And we're out of songs now, though, so...
Well, you said you started another one, Brad. What genre are we in now?
Totally...
Is it something totally
different than anything.
New metal.
Yeah, no, it's not metal or anything. If I try to write, like, heavy, it just falls flat as hell, so I can't do it other than, like, playing with people.
We're getting to the point where we're going to have to do some more ingredients.
Yeah, you're accurate. That's good. We're almost stuck enough to do that.
Yeah.
Am I stuck enough?
But, yeah, 25% through season 2.
That's sweet. That's awesome.
Another one in the books.
I'm not saying they're the most fabulous Thunderbirds, but they're the most fabulous Thunderbirds.
People are saying
People are saying it.
This is episode 10. We already just came out with episode 4 of what we're listening to over on Patreon.
I've been listening to those, and I like those shows. They're pretty. They're pretty good.
I thought you were gonna go, but listen to those and blah.
No, pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good. So, BSers, you can check us out over on Patreon on our second podcast, What We're Listening To. Patrick hosts, listening to albums each episode, getting some trivia, and some other fun things there. Link in the episode description. Also, you can find our Spotify playlist in the episode description for this episode and every episode. New songs added weekly. Check out our website, belongingsongs.com. Here are the before and after versions of all our songs. Also, check out Conway Twitty on Instagram.
Hello, darling.
That one's getting some traction over there, that post. People like Conway Twitty more than they like us.
Dude,
clearly.
I think there's a lesson to be learned there, so...
There's a reason he was in everybody's collection.
Yeah.
Might transition all of our posts to more of a Conway Twitty lean.
Right, yeah.
A little worried about this artifact. It's not in great condition, so I'm going to have to start putting on the white linen gloves to handle it.
Yeah, well, we should definitely get that thing on the Antiques Roadshow, see what she's worth.
Yeah.
Oh, we already know. It's on the bottom. $1.
Well, no, that's what you paid for it. That is an original Conway Twitty. This is one where at the end of the episode it would go beep beep beep. It's worth more.
If this podcast were a cartoon, he would have already crashed in here a couple times to play an entire song.
Well, are you talking about Conway Twitty doing a Kool-Aid Man?
Yeah, basically. BSers, send us a message, please. We're so lonely.
Please vote for me.
BS@belongingsongs.com.
I'm good
If
enough.
you
Smart
are a
enough.
real live human who listens to our show, say hi. Tell us where you are, where you listen, what you do while you're listening. We'd love to hear from you.
I'm looking at
leave
you,
us a
Stripe.
review. The gremlin.
Overcast.
Tell your friends, like and subscribe, all that jazz. This podcast is produced by Satellite Chicken Sound Lab. You can check that out at satellitechicken.com. As always, thank you so much for listening. We've got 75% more of a season to do,
Well,
so
that
stay
got
tuned.
negative real fast, didn't it? We were all excited. Oh, we're 25% done. Oh, fuck.
No, that was a good thing.
Oh, that was good.
Stay tuned for the next 75.
Oh, sorry. Cut that out.
And if you're a bot, tell your friends. Tell your parents.
Yeah,
That's right.
you're probably a sexy bot,
Bot
and we're
friends.
we're into that.
Yeah.
You at least have like a sexy bot front. What do they call that? What do they call it? Oh, fuck.
I don't know what
You
you're
know,
talking about.
my likeness. What is it?
Doppelganger?
No,
Talk about the uncanny
Avatar?
valley.
no, Avatar.
I've never referred to an avatar as a sexy front.
Well, your avatar, I don't think would be. I mean, but
Oh no. Okay, thanks, Brad. You know, I've been working out. I know I'm eating nachos
No,
a
you
lot,
look
but
good.
you
look
fuck you.
good.
You're not
look good.
backtracking on this.
When we get a legit studio, we should have a sexy front. So it's like lingerie store out front,
I'm bringing sexy front.
secret podcast studio in the back.
That's right. podcast mullet.
I think you have your post credits outro for this episode.
Am I the only one
The
diddly
one
doing
diddly
around
doing?
here? How far do you... Wade disciplines the boys. How far do you think we're going to get if I'm the only one diddly doing?
Yeah, it's good. Boom, done. Next.